How did they do that? On the darkest, moonless nights, the German bombers would come in waves and bomb the Soviet rear as if they had cat-like eyesight and could peer through overcast skies. Their bombs were dropped onto factories, airfields, warehouses, and railway stations without a miss. How is it possible? Nikolai Golayev, a young lieutenant, had no answer to that. What he did, though, was a shameless violation of an order given by the commander of the 487th Fighter Regiment, Major Mikhail Kuresh. On a dark night in August 1942, he took off in his Yak-1 into the black skies, and night flights were only allowed for the most experienced pilots, only allowed for those with an inherent understanding of the plane's position, since they didn't even have a gyro horizon, only allowed for those who could attempt a dangerous night landing. Definitely not allowed for a young rookie lieutenant. On the other hand, how could you not take off when you're finally on the front lines in an actual fighter regiment, when you're desperate to prove your worth and even the mechanics are sneering? Everybody's out, what are you waiting for? The commander would have ordered Gulayev to go back, but there was one issue. His Yak-1 didn't even have a radio. And while the fighter's gaining altitude, let's talk about the secrets that helped German bombers with their night raids. They'd actually gained a lot of experience with them during the Battle of Britain. What they'd done back then was bomb beyond visual range. They were using radio bearing. Their planes would follow the beams of several special radio beacons installed in their home territory and navigate precisely to the drop area. It was back in 1940, and the Royal Air Forces did their best to counteract this trick. They jammed the beacons, built fake targets, and created their first specialized night fighters based on the Blenheims and the Beaufighters. The Soviet army, however, was not ready for this type of warfare in their first year in the war. So here was the result. In 1942, the Soviet pilots still had to perform night flights using completely unsuitable daytime tactical fighters. Wait, what was that? As if someone struck a spark in the sky. Gulayev took a closer look and spotted it again. That must be flames thrown out by exhaust pipes. Looks like a two-engined plane. The wing is elliptical. That must be a Heinkel 111. Here's two more of them, flying in a tight wedge like on a parade, blind to their surroundings. While the lieutenant was getting closer, the bombers did not expose a single tracer. Seems like they felt so confident their gunners didn't even try peering into the darkness around them. Gulayev pitched his nose up and sent a long volley straight into the right engine of the leader at a very close range, setting it on fire. It was the wing fuel tank burning, and the flames were so bright they blinded the gunners of the other two bombers. The heavy Heinkel tumbled and fell into a spin, burning hot and falling apart midair. The other ones panicked, dropped their bombs wherever, and scurried back home. Meanwhile, the young lieutenant had to make it back home too, and perform the dangerous night landing, which he managed with excellence, by the way. Of course, he couldn't avoid a dressing down from the regiment commander. It was compensated, however, with an award and a promotion to senior lieutenant. Destroying a bomber in a night raid alone in your first, albeit unsanctioned, real combat situation? No joke. The word spread that the guy must be the real deal, although no one really knew how much of a deal he truly was. For that Heinkel was the first of his 57 victories.